suffering and temptation reveal the quality of our discipleship. It is evident in Matthew 26 as we move into the climax of the book. Both Jesus and his disciples face a time of severe testing. The way they respond to these tests can be an encouragement and a warning to us. So today, the theme is going to be conditions of the heart affects our actions. Reading in Matthew 26, verses 1 through 16, I'm going to start with verse 1 and then skip down to 14. When Jesus had finished saying all these things, he said to his disciples, "As you know, the Passover is 2 days away, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified." And in 14, it says, "Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priest and asked, 'What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?' So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over." Point one for tonight is the prideful heart. Before this point, just to give you some background, Jesus was explaining the difference of being a sheep or goat and the future of both. For about 6 months, Jesus predicts his death. At this point in the scriptures is the 4th time Jesus mentions his death. The times before this are in Matthew 16, 21, 23, when Jesus is rebuked by Peter and Jesus responds was for him to get behind him, Satan, because Peter was being a stumbling block. The next was in Matthew 17, 22 through 23. The disciples were filled with grief as he explained to them what was to come of his future. Then in Matthew 20, 17, 19, Jesus explains that he is going to be mocked, flogged, crucified by the Gentiles. Jesus loved deep enough to consider the disciples' hearts and prepare them for what they're about to witness. Meanwhile, the chief priests and the elders, which is the Sanhedrin, were plotting a plan to arrest Jesus. They were filled with so much bitter resentment, they spent all day devising a plan to end Jesus' ministry. Now, the Sanhedrin is the court of the Jews, which is made up of about 71 members. So you can imagine 71 people just sitting around discussing how to devise a plan to get rid of Jesus' ministry, one man. Raised under Roman jurisdiction, the Sanhedrin was given great authority, but could not impose capital punishment. Now, according to the 10 Commandments in Exodus 20:13, which the chief priests and elders are to uphold, says, "You shall not murder." Yet, they plot against Jesus. Historically, evil deeds have been done and claimed to be in God's name. The bottom line, they wanted the situation to look official by hiding behind the Roman authority. So, what was their biggest issue besides Jesus at this point? And you'll find that in the Passover in Matthew 21, 42 to 46. I won't read it for the sake of the class. But in that, he basically pulls the carpet out from underneath the Sanhedrin, letting them know that you are the people that I'm very much talking about, that will not inherit the kingdom. As you can see, they have always been afraid also of the public causing a riot, because there's millions of people there for this particular time of the year. Question though, why would devout religious leaders plot to murder someone like Jesus? Jesus was tested and passed all their schemes. They are upset because he had a large following. So that caused a lot of discrepancies in what their authority held. So how can we avoid justifying sinful acts with belief that we are serving God? We need to keep watchful eye on our surroundings and apply God's word to our lives daily. When might we be tempted to take matters into our own hands instead of trusting God? When is it convenient? Do we expose our friends to our commitment to Jesus or make provisions to appease their lifestyle? So how would your response to opposition to your faith look like? Well, let's take a look at a woman named Mary.
Okay.